Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, head mistress of the Budo, where we teach authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the 5 Spies, written in the Shoninki in 1681 by Natori Masatake. So for all of you historical ninja and samurai buffs out there, it's going to be kind of a fun video for you. Now, before we begin, I always give a shout out to all of my new viewers. So if this is the first video that you guys have seen of me, my name is Christa Jacobson. I am the head mistress of the Budo, which means School of the Warrior Way. We teach koryu ninjutsu and koryu bujutsu, so the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. This organization does have other areas of focus, such as reality-based self-defense, weapons training and tactics, concealed carry, survival skills, martial arts theory, thought and philosophy, martial arts conditioning. If any of those topics interest you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click the bell. I do post 2 to 3 videos every single week, so if you guys are interested in any of those topics, please subscribe, click the bell, and keep up with what we're doing. So today we're going to be talking about the Gokan, which means 5 spies. Go is 5 and kan is spy. Now, the 5 Spies is written in the Shoninki, again in 1681 by Natori Masatake. And in the Shoninki, he lists all 5 spies and the use of each one of these 5 types of spies. It is important to note that the 5 Spies are written in a much older document than the Shoninki, and that is going to be The Art of War, written by Sun Tzu. So for all of you who are in the Budo and you're studying ninjutsu in this organization, you guys know that there is a more in-depth lesson on this particular subject on the 8th Q, which is level 2, and the name of that particular lesson is called the Shinobi Gokan. Now, the 5 spies written in the Shoninki are local spies, inward spies, converted spies, doomed spies, and surviving spies. So let's look at the very first one, Inko no Kan, or local spy. Using the locals gives an opportunity to get the information from the local source. These are people that are already part of the local community. They know the dialect, they know the ins and outs of the community, they know how things work, they are already working in the area, whether it's a farmer or a merchant or whatever it is that they do, but they already have access to the local community. The community trusts them, they've seen their face, and utilizing a local source is a way to gather information. So the very first spy, Inko no Kan, or the use of locals, this is a very crucial aspect to gathering information on the enemy territory. The second type of spy listed in the Shoninki is called Nairyo no Kan, which means an inward spy. Now, what this is you sending someone over to get employed in the enemy territory or in the enemy army, and then have them work for the enemy army or within the enemy territory, and then report the information back to you. It's very important to understand that Nairyo no Kan, or an inward spy, takes many years to develop so that they understand the situation and what they're getting into, because you're basically going to plant them on the other side and they have to operate as a member of society in enemy territory, and people have to believe that they're part of that army or that side or within that area, while you're secretly relaying information back to your lord. So the second type of spy, inward spy, is you sending someone over to the enemy territory to live there, to be within that community, and you've planted them there, and then they're going to gather information as a member of that community or as a member of the enemy army, and then relay information back to you, and that's Nairyo no Kan. The third type of spy that's listed in the Shoninki is called Hantoku no Kan, which means converted spy. This is not a double agent. I know some people like to say that, but this is absolutely not a double agent. A converted spy is you capturing a spy from the enemy army, and then now you've converted them. You've paid them very good. You've converted them over to work for you, and then they go back over to the enemy territory and get within the enemy army and gather information and get it back to you. That is not the same thing as an inward spy. An inward spy is you taking someone from your community, your army, and you have now trained them, and then they've been hired onto the enemy camp, or they're within the enemy family, or they're on enemy territory, and then they're gathering information and getting it back to you. A Hantoku no Kan, or a converted spy, is much different. This is you have now captured a spy from the enemy's forces. You've taken that particular individual, and now you've either paid them a lot, you've done something to really convince them that they should be working for you. So now you've converted a spy from the other side to work on your behalf. And this is what Hantoku no Kan is, or a converted spy. A double agent is way different. A double agent is someone who's working for both sides. You can't trust them. They're only working on their behalf, and they could kill a military campaign very easily. So a double agent is not the same thing as a converted spy. I know some people like to get that mixed up, but they're absolutely not the same thing. The fourth type of spy that's written in the Shoninki is called Shicho no kan, which means doomed spy. Now this is an individual that you're going to be sending on a secret mission, and they have a very high chance of death. Whether they know that or not, that doesn't matter. You're sending them on a mission that they're going to try to complete, and the chance of survival is very, very slim. I'm not trying to get into the whole kamikaze type scenario, but I don't think we're very far off if you think of it in that sense, okay? So Shicho no kan, or a doomed spy, is you're sending someone who's very expendable to go do a mission that is going to be extremely difficult to pull off. Death is highly probable, but if they pull off the mission, you pay them very well. That way you've now pulled them into your group, you've pulled them into your army, and now you can see how good they really are. Reality is you're sending them to their death, basically. They're very expendable, and you're sending them on a mission where they're probably going to die. And this is Shicho no kan, or a doomed spy. The fifth type of spy that's written in the Shoninki is called Tensei no kan. Now, Tensei no kan means surviving spy. These are the best of the best. These are the spies that have carried out multiple missions, they've completed their objectives, they gather the information, they get it back to you every single time. They are the ones that you rely on the most, you pay them the most. They're the ones that go out, get the information, get it back, and they're very, very reliable, they're very trustworthy. These are the Tensei no kan, or surviving spies. They have the most experience, the most knowledge, the most wisdom, and they're the ones that can go out, get it done, and bring back the information. So this is what's called Tensei no kan. Now I do want to note one thing regarding the 5 spies, that these 5 spies that I've talked about from the Shoninki, I gave you a very basic fundamental explanation of each one of the 5. I want you to know though that there are many different descriptions, uses of each one of these 5 spies. I didn't give you the absolute, I gave you an example of each one of the 5 spies. But there are many more examples of each one of these different types of spies. They can be used in a variety of different ways. This lesson, the 5 types of spies, is very deep, it's very dynamic, and it's not as simple as just, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I did today in this particular video is just give you the basic fundamental information of the 5 spies from the Shoninki, which originally from the Art of War, and kind of go through them so you guys can get a basic understanding of how spies would have operated within feudal Japan. Now in the beginning of the video I told you that these 5 spies came from the Shoninki, again written in 1681 by Natori Masatake, and that this information actually comes from an older source, which is Sun Tzu's Art of War. In the Art of War there's a specific chapter dedicated to the use of spies, and he goes very in depth of information gathering and the use of spies. Now in that particular chapter there's a quote, and I want to give you guys this quote because it is so important to understand the mentality of the use of spies. So inside the Art of War, Sun Tzu writes, "Without secret operations, a war is a meaningless act of gratuitous violence that does nothing but destroy all the people and all the resources. Study these lessons well. To master them means to understand the true arts of war." Now that quote is directly related to the use of spies. It's not a quote that I pulled from like the beginning of the book. This is a quote that's specific to the use of spies. And he clearly says, study this lesson well. If you understand this lesson, meaning this lesson as the use of spies, you understand the true arts of war. So there you go, the 5 spies from the Shoninki, written in 1681 by Natori Masatake. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, that way you guys can keep with everything that we're doing. If you guys are interested in authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu, please check out my website at www.budo-ninjutsu.com. There you guys can see the 7 traditions that we teach, the strategies, philosophies, and principles that we have within the school. You guys can see a list of our schools. If you do not live next to one of our schools, you guys can always join the Budo online ninjutsu dojo, and you guys can start training with us that way. So thank you guys very much for your love and support. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, take care, be safe, and good luck in your journey of Budo. Bye.